Happy November. I am looking out the window right now filming this. There's a window behind you and the most beautiful fall colors are on all the leaves outside. So I hope wherever you are, you're having a cozy, wonderful fall and enjoying all of the changes that come with this season. If you're new here, I'm Dr. Mel of Mind Body Mel, and every month I do these little resets so we can get together, recap how the past month went, go through my favorite books and media. I love hearing all of yours in the comments too. And then I've been loving the personal curriculum trend, and I've kind of made it my own a little bit. So I'll walk you through my curriculum for November, some of the intentions and habits I'm going to be focusing on, and some fun things that I want to get done too. So if that sounds good to you, we'll get started, but make sure that you hit the subscribe button first so you don't miss any future uploads. And with that, let's get into October. October was a great month. I feel like I really accomplished what I wanted to accomplish this month, which is always a good feeling. My word of the month was momentum. I really wanted to just create momentum in a lot of different areas of my life, and I feel like I accomplished that. Like I said, the personal curriculum has really been a game changer in just giving me a tiny bit of structure. I know I've seen some crazy rubrics and a lot of structure with a lot of the personal curriculums, which I love. If you are super type A like that, go off. Me, I've always considered myself a type B plus person. I definitely can go a little type A, but in ways like that, I'm very much not. You'll see when I really get into my journal, when we do the overhead, I've kind of adapted that trend and made it my own. It's almost just like different focus areas of the month with my personal time and like fun things that I like to do. So it's given me a really nice structure and framework going into each month. Hopefully you're enjoying it too. I did get sick this month. It wasn't a super long illness. It did take me down for a weekend and I spent a whole weekend in bed. And I do feel like part of the month was just playing catch up from that, especially with my fitness routine and my split training that I've been doing. So that kind of derailed me a little bit. And it's just so funny to think back on how something like that would have really derailed me in the past. I would have had a hard time coming back, regaining momentum. But I feel like now in my 30s, I have such a more gentle and compassionate relationship with myself where it's more important to me how quickly I'm able to bounce back, where I know things are gonna happen. Like that is how life works. You get into a great flow, a great routine, and then you get the next cold. What is more a priority for me now is how can I rest as hard as possible? How can I recover really well so I can get back out there as soon as possible? Where before I feel like I would have just tried to muscle through, push through, it's fine, and then it would have prolonged everything, taking so much longer, and I might have just dropped the fitness routine altogether. So I'm really proud of myself for how I was able to bounce back. And yes, I had that little blip of getting sick, and you'll see in my curriculum, there were some things that didn't happen the way that I wanted them to, but I still kept with it. I didn't throw it away just because I didn't hit 100% on everything. I think something that's really been helping with that too, being able to bounce back, is that I'm doing the artist way right now. Right now I'm about to start week 9. So I've done 8 weeks already, which is crazy, 2 months. And I haven't done morning pages every single day, which is a huge part of the program. There have been, honestly, most weeks I miss at least one day, but I get back to it the next day. And I'm really happy with that progress because that does feel like progress for me and not being so black and white with my goals and with my habits. I've really been able to shift my thinking of consistency from just a 30-day challenge to over the course of the next 30 years, how consistent can I be? Because I think that's really what's the most important anyway, you know? But yeah, a big part of October was doing the artist way, which if you don't know what that is, it's this book by Julia Cameron. I have 2 videos up now documenting my experience with it. So if that's of interest to you, go check those out next. I do recaps at the end of each week and share my reflections, what artist dates I went on, how I did on morning pages, and it's a lot of fun. So I think you'd like that. Sometimes things just find you at the right time, and I talk about in my Artist Way series that I actually tried to do this earlier in the year in March, April-ish, and I got to week 7, so I'm already ahead of that, and it just wasn't the right time. You felt like I got some things out of it then, but I fell off with it, and now it is just hitting at exactly when I need it. I have been really consistent. I look forward to it. I feel like I'm getting a lot out of it with my creativity. I'm definitely going to, recap more, and I'll have a whole video on my reflections of the whole process. But if you're feeling creatively burnt out or For me, it was more feeling creatively stagnant, where I felt like I have ideas, I have a lot of things that I want to do, but I have a hard time creating that momentum. That's part of why that word of the month came in. I think this is a really beneficial resource that you should check out. As far as September media, I think that I might be in a bit of a reading slump. I normally read quite a lot, and for me to have only finished one book this month is kind of crazy to me. I have just been DNFing so many books lately, and I think it is that I'm wanting to read more depth, more really beautiful writing. And I think there's different phases in life, you know? I think I need a little bit more intellectual stimulation right now, so I'm just really enjoying books that, you know, weave a very intricate story. Quick romance book, something that's really fluffy just isn't hitting right now. But there have been so many seasons in my life where that's all my brain could handle. So I definitely think there's seasons to everything. I'm not trying to bash any type of books. All books have their place and are great. But I have definitely, and I need to look back, and I will in December, look at all my data and stats on my reading for the year compared to last year. I feel like I'm reading more 5-star books. I feel like I'm DNFing quicker and maybe reading less in the second half of this year, but I'm reading better books, just books that I'm really enjoying and like very much trying to get everyone in my life to read. So the one book that I did finish was Project Hail Mary, which is going to be a huge movie next year. It's starring Ryan Gosling, and I listened to what everybody said, that you need to listen to it on audio. I am not an audiobook person. I have a very hard time paying attention with just audio. One of those learners who just like absolutely needs a visual reference. So I actually did what the kids call immersive reading. So I had it on my Kindle and I had it in my ear and was following along as the narrator read it. Oh my gosh. Everybody is correct. You do need to listen to it as an audiobook, but if you're like me, definitely recommend doing both. That book blew my mind and it was so funny. Nobody told me that. It's a science fiction book, and I really don't want to tell you too many details because that element of surprise is part of what makes this book so great. But why you need to listen to it on audio is there is a character in the book that has a very distinct way of speaking that, based on what I saw text on the page, there is no way that my brain would have been able to come up with how this voice actor brought it to life. Highly recommend. There were so many moments that truly shocked me in it. It was really funny. I was laughing out loud a lot. I'm really excited to see how they bring the story to life in the big screen. And because I knew Ryan Gosling is playing the main character, I was thinking about him the whole time, so there are worse things. Highly recommend that you listen to it before the movie comes out. It was a really great story, 5-star read. I have currently been reading The Sword of Kaigen by M.L. Wong for the past 2 weeks. It's a very long book. It is very intricate, very in-depth, a lot of themes around culture and grief and roles and family. And it's just taking me longer to get through it. So I should be able to get through that soon. And I do think I need a shorter book that I can kind of fly through a little bit after that before I start the second book in the Hierarchy series. I talked about Will of the Many, I believe, in my October reset video. I think I read it in September, and Strength of the Few is coming out next month, so I will be reading that. But I do have my eye on Good Spirits by B.K. Borison. I read her whole Love Light Farm series. I've read all of her books actually, and that one just came out, and it looks like it's like a holiday romance. I know I just said I can't really handle the fluffy romance right now, but I know I love her writing and I'll enjoy that, and I'll be able to fly through that, maybe get back into a reading groove, because yeah, I feel like I've been in a little bit of a slump. Would love to hear if there's a book that, you know, was a 5-star read for you, something you absolutely loved. Please let me know down below. On the other hand, I've been watching so much TV, which I'm not usually a big TV person. I just feel like all the shows I like came back, and I've just been watching a lot more TV than usual, but that's okay. Again, seasons to everything. I am obsessed, loving, seated every Tuesday night for Dancing with the Stars, voting. Currently, my favorites are Elaine. So underrated. I think Alex Earle is doing amazing. I love how she's really just thrown herself into this and really is dedicated to it. Obviously, Robert Irwin, I think he's gonna win. I think we all know he's gonna win. I do really enjoy watching Whitney and Mark dance. I think Mark is one of the most creative choreographers. I love seeing what he comes up with every week. I've been enjoying their partnership. And oh my gosh, Jordan and Ezra. Love. I wish all of those couples could be in the final. Honestly, the cast is just stacked this year. It's crazy. So really enjoying Dancing with the Stars. This is the last month of it. I think it finales at the end of the month. Abbott Elementary is back. The episode where they go to the Phillies game had us howling. Definitely watch that one. And then I'm also watching High Potential. That just ended until January, and Great British Baking Show, of course. I've got a nice little rotation there, but I think a lot of them are actually wrapping up this month. Probably will be watching less TV moving forward, but it's been a big TV month. Music-wise, I I basically listened to 2 albums. The first 2 weeks were Taylor Swift's Life of a Showgirl. Second half of the month was Olivia Dean's The Art of Loving. Would recommend both. Obviously, the Taylor Swift album, a lot of critiques, a lot of love it or hate it. I pretty much feel that way about the album. Like there's some songs I really love, some songs I will probably never listen to again. Olivia Dean, I've been a huge fan for a while, and I'm happy to see this success, especially in the US, that's kind of cut this album cycle. It's really exciting. I think she's such a star. I think she's got a great career ahead of her, and it's just very easy listening, and I've had that one on repeat for the past 2 weeks. I think that pretty much wraps up October. I do want to recap my October curriculum in my notebook, so I think we're going to switch to my desk. We'll do an overhead shot, and I'll walk you through it. Okay, I'm pretty sure I just broke my tripod, so hopefully this stays for us. But yeah, this should look familiar. This is from my October reset video, and I kind of wrote out the parts of my curriculum that I wanted to do for the month of October, and then I had made like this new, a fun little bucket list of things I wanted to get done during the month. Actually, let's go back to my fall curriculum page. This was the curriculum I had made, and when I made this, I thought it would probably be for 2 months, and that's exactly how long I ended up doing this because I get bored, I want to switch things up. I'm just going to run through all of these courses pretty quickly, check in on how they went, because I definitely want to get into the courses for November. Art of Creativity, this is the Artist's Way course. I'm still working through this, and I'm really proud of that and happy that I've been really consistent with it. And I'll talk about it more since I'm continuing this course later on. Matters of Medicine, I needed to do all of my continuing education credits before they ran out for my licensure. I'm a naturopathic doctor, and I have to do 30 hours of continuing ed every year to renew my state license. I did complete this. It was a lot. I mean, it was 30 hours, so I had to watch a lot of videos this month, and I'm really glad I got that done. I have my certificate saved. This one I had deferred last month because I realized that this course was going to take up a lot of my time. So this was going to be my traditional Chinese medicine unit, and I've just kind of put it on the table. I think I'm going to revisit this in 2026. Business and Development, also deferred this book, just wasn't really doing anything for me, and deferred this business course, but you'll see this again because this had a lot of videos in it as well, and I was already doing a ton of videos for the Matters in Medicine course. I do have some tincture formulas that I am working on. This is still a work in progress. And then the Science of Moving Well, this was kind of like my PE credit. I was doing mainly the 4-day split and hike program on Peloton. I did end up doing this for 7 weeks because I got sick, and I was just going to extend another week into November, but honestly, I kind of need a change with my workout program. This is the second time in a row that I've done this. It was just a second round of this. I did 7 weeks. I took a deload week, and then I've done another 7 weeks. So I think 14 weeks, my brain is just ready for a little bit more of a challenge. I still think it's a great workout. We'll definitely revisit this program probably next year. I just need something different next time. And then daily 8K steps. I'm pretty sure I would have to look back on my Fitbit data, but I usually hit this. It's like enough of a challenge that at the end of the day, I have to be like, oh, I've got like 1,000 more steps to do. But because I do strength training 4 days a week, I just find 10K steps to be a little much, especially if I'm working from home, working at a desk. And 8K steps is like the perfect challenge for me. So let's go back now to October because I don't think I updated this. So this was specifically in October, the parts of the curriculum I wanted to work on. I did finish Matters of Medicine, and like I mentioned, that took a lot of time. So glad I got that done. Complete weeks 5 to 8 of The Artist's Way. I did that. Just basically a new chapter every week of the month, and we're still continuing on with that this month. Post weeks 1 through 3 Artist's Way reflections. I did that, and I posted weeks 4 through 6 reflections. So if you want to go back and watch those, watch that next. Finish Peloton split. I have one workout left in the 7 weeks that I decided I was going to do. I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to check it off, and then, we can talk about this book. So I definitely should have done a little bit more research on this book before I purchased it and put it on my curriculum because it wasn't really what I was looking for. I was hoping for a book that was more on longevity. I've been really passionate this year about making sure that I'm strength training for long-term health, for building up muscle mass and being able to move as well as I can for as long as I can. That's a real guiding principle for me for health. And I was just kind of looking for something to add to that and motivate me. And this book just was not that. It was really about AI, honestly, and technology advancements in medicine, which, cool. And the guy who wrote this book is an MD, I am an ND. Obviously, we're coming from two different viewpoints of medicine, and I take a very integrative approach. I have a lot of respect for modern medicine, and I love when we can work together. But I think this guy's perspective is a little bit different, and he was saying things like there's absolutely no research on supplements, like you shouldn't take any. But then he was promoting these new advancements with AI, which I'm kind of like, well, we don't really have any research on that. So I don't know, I just didn't agree with a lot of the things he was saying. I'm sure other people will get a lot out of the book. And again, I should have done more research where it just wasn't really what I was looking for. So I didn't end up finishing that, and I don't think I'll go back to it. So there's that. And then I wanted to finalize Black Friday plans for my business, which I did work on. Going into the bucket list, I'm really glad I added this, and I am gonna keep this moving forward. These are just things that have been in the back of my head. I wanna do them. Knowing that I'm gonna check in with you guys at the end of the month honestly does motivate me to get these done, because I wanna be able to check things off. Thanks for being my virtual accountability partners. I did not get or make a sourdough starter. I think I've decided I just don't want that level of commitment right now. And making sourdough is a lot of work. Yeah, one of those things where it's like, that sounds really nice. And when I started building out the cart, figuring out what I would need for everything, I was like, you know what? I don't know if I want to do this anymore. Tabling that one. I did clean out my closet, and then I did go thrifting. This is my first real fall and going into winter in 6 years. I moved back to this area. I grew up in New Jersey, but I had been living in Arizona for the past 6 years, and I moved back here at the beginning of 2025. So I'm trying to figure out what clothes I really need, which is a lot, honestly, for this season. But I wanted to make sure I was being intentional, building out my closet, building out my wardrobe. So I cleaned things out, got rid of a lot of things, and found some things at the thrift store. Still have a lot of gaps, but I made a lot of progress this month. And I did go on the Philly food tour with my dad. This was a Christmas present that I had bought him last year, and I said, we have to use this before next Christmas. So we got it done in October. We had such a great time. It was really nice to spend that quality time with my dad. And if you've ever been to Philly, you know the food there, incredible. I was so uncomfortably full afterwards though, but we had a great time. And then I did listen to the new Taylor Swift album, literally on repeat, being a fan, getting excited about things, and it's always a fun time when there's a new Taylor Swift album. So that kind of wraps up October, and I'm really excited to get into November. It's nice when the pages align in the planner like this, where I can have the full spread. It's the little things, you know? All right, so let's start with my curriculum, actually. You're gonna see some familiar ones, and then I've added 2 new ones. So Art of Creativity, this is my Artist's Way unit. I should finish the book this month. I got a little off track this past week, actually. You'll probably hear it in one of my Artist's Way videos. So this might go into the first week of December, but that's fine with me. Listen, I've been using the podcast Internet People. They have a series called Bare Minimum Artist's Way, and I've been loving it. I don't listen to it for each week, but if I'm having a week where, you know, I'm really wrestling with a lot of the ideas, I like hearing their thoughts on it and their perspective. I think if you do this with a group, you would get that. But since I'm doing it solo, I like just, you know, hearing what other people took from the reading. So I'm going to continue using that as a resource, and I'm going to complete my YouTube series. So I've been recapping 3 weeks at a time. And then in the last video, I also want to do kind of like a Q&A. I've had comments on my videos, and then just people in my real life who know I'm doing it have a lot of questions about the Artist's Way. So I want to make sure I answer those. So if you can figure out if you should do the Artist's Way, if it's a good fit for you. I'm going to talk about the ones I'm continuing first, and then we'll talk about the new ones. So Traditions of Nature, this was the course title for my Chinese medicine unit, but I've changed it to just my herb unit because herbs are also nature, you know? I am going to complete that herbal course that I had done in the September and October curriculum and kind of tabled. Because I got those other videos out of the way, I can now work on this course. And this is a fun thing, but you know, I can always turn a hobby into a business, and I could always add some of these products to Mind Body Herbals, but I want to have some fun with my herbs and make some gifts for the people in my life, you know, some infused body oils or syrups, or making elderberry syrups. I've made a lot of herbal gifts over the years. I love doing an infused honey. That's always a crowd pleaser. And I want to play with that this month, especially before December, you know, figure out what I do want to make, get ahead of it, because it's the worst when you're trying to get things done. And then for my Science of Moving Well, this is like my PE credit, I think of it. I have one more workout, like I mentioned, in the 4-day split that I was doing. I'm going to do it tomorrow. And then I'm going to take a deload week. They actually recommend this on the Peloton app. I've seen it with a lot of other training programs too, where you do want to give your muscles a break, mainly to prevent injury before continuing on with the strength program. And I can honestly feel when I need this. Like, I can tell that, you know, I've been making a lot of progress. Maybe I've been upping my weights or upping my reps, upping my time. And then all of a sudden I kind of start to plateau, or I even feel weaker, and maybe my form isn't as good where it was before. And this past week, I've definitely been feeling that if I just kept pushing, if I upped my weights, I would probably hurt myself. So I like building these deload weeks. It also makes it easier to be like, okay, I'm going to push for this period of time. I'm really going to be focusing on my strength, and then I know a break is coming. That really helps me instead of just being like, for the rest of my life, I'm going to go to the gym 4 times a week and do this same strength program. Like that, I can't. Basically what this means is you can either like take a week off completely, or try different workouts, or pick up less weight for similar workouts. So I am really craving doing a lot of walking this week. I would love to do a yoga class. I have a number of workouts saved on the Peloton app that didn't fit into my program that are just kind of like the fun ones they do. Like they do a lot of themed artist videos, so I thought it'd be fun to do a couple of those. I definitely still want to be active, but I want to give my body a break, you know. Definitely doing more sauna this week as well. I'm looking forward to this. And then I'm going to start a 3-day split program, also with Rebecca Kennedy. She's my favorite trainer on the Peloton app. I have done this split many times. I think I did it last in March of this year. So it's been a while, so it'll still feel new. And with the holidays coming up, I just know 3 days a week is more realistic. This gives me a push, a pull, and a leg day. And then in the back of my mind, I'm also like, I'd like to get to the gym a 4th day and just do like cardio and core. But my priority is always strength training. So I'm just going to say 3-day split, and then keeping it the same at 8K steps a day. So I'm feeling really good about this. Now for my new courses. So this one's called Craft Roulette, and this comes from me not being able to decide which craft I wanted to make a part of my curriculum. So I just decided, why not do all of them? I was like, do I really need a crochet course, a painting course, you know, all these different things? What I've decided is that I am going to choose one craft from the jar, which I'll show you in a second, and at least 1 time per week, I'm going to work on that craft. What I find is that I love to craft. I love all types of arts and crafts. I love to crochet. I love diamond art. I love working on my creative journal. I enjoy painting sometimes. You know, there's a lot of different crafts I enjoy that sometimes when it's like time to sit down and do something, I can't decide what I want to work on. Oh, I'm also really want to try air dry clay. See, this is what I mean. And then I end up spending so much time debating what I should work on that I don't end up working on it, especially if it's a weeknight and after work where I'm already kind of tired, and then I just end up watching TV or scrolling on my phone, which I don't want to do. I love how much creative energy these crafts give me. It's really important to me, and I want to make sure that I do it. So what I decided to do was take the guesswork out of it and make it into this little roulette game where I don't know what I'm gonna get. I don't know what I'm gonna work on. And I'm just gonna pull a piece of paper out of the jar whenever I have time to work on it. So ideally this would be 1 time a week. I have more than 4 crafts, so this could either be continued, or if I end up having more time, I can obviously pull another one out of the jar. These are all the craft strips that I have. So creative back journal, you guys have seen my creative journal before, but there's some pages months and months and months ago that I would love to go back and fill in. So that'll be a day that I can do. Christmas painting kit that I had bought last year and didn't do. So that's an option, you know, good for this time of year too. Air dry clay. I do need to get some air dry clay. That's the other thing. Like I do kind of need to have these supplies on hand if I want it to be more spontaneous. But I've seen all over Pinterest and TikTok, those cute little magnets people make out of air dry clay, and I really want to try it. That would be fun. Crochet, I learned how to crochet last year and I did it during the winter, and then it doesn't feel like a summer activity to me, so I'm going to need to practice, and I just keep putting it off. But I love to crochet. Like I find it very addictive when I do it. So adding that to the jar. My mom got me a stained glass kit last year for Christmas, and I just haven't done it. It's in the shape of butterflies, which I love butterflies, so that's fun. And then diamond gem art. If you guys haven't done this and you're just looking for a low stakes crafty activity you can do, I highly recommend. They have $5 kits at Target, so you can try it out, and you literally just pick up these gems and stick it on to, it's like paint by number, but with, I mean, these gemstone stickers kind of thing. Very relaxing, very like, I don't have to have my brain on at all, where crochet I still do because I don't quite know all of this yet. So whatever they call it, gem painting, diamond painting, something like that. So yeah, I'm really excited to have this now, and I'm gonna put this in a jar and I'll be able to pull one out and it'll be craft roulette. Then we have N of 1 up level. This is my personal development unit, just really working on, you know, improving myself. That's where the N of 1 comes from. And the book that I chose, I have a couple personal development books on my shelf, so I just pulled one that resonated with me right now. And that was Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza. I've tried this before, and I know it's a little dense in the beginning, and I think that's, yeah, like, this is crazy to me, but the quantum you, we'll see. I don't think I'll be able to read this in a month by any means, but at least starting it, see if it's something that I want to continue this month, and go from there. And then I do want to get back to daily activations. I've talked about these a lot on my channel, but this is an app that you can download that is all audio. It's kind of like a mix of meditation, positive affirmation. She gives little pep talks. I just find it very inspiring, but she's really focused on the music and using different frequencies to help you to tap into different emotions. I always find after I finish doing this, I'm in a much better headspace. I feel more positive. I feel more excited about my life, and I know they make me feel better. And I just kind of fell off of it this past month. So putting it back on here, really good for my personal development and up leveling. We'll be focusing on that. So those are my 5 classes. I definitely think that this may be too many, but that's a trend for me. And like I said, this is supposed to be fun. It's okay if these all don't go finished. I'm not getting graded for this. These are just things that I'm continuing to work on. It's all about consistency over time. I'm really excited for these classes this month. Then just to wrap up with my intentions, the word I chose for this month is open. I just want to stay open to new opportunities, new ways of thinking. I don't know, in the past week, I felt like this word was really calling to me. So I'm excited to see how it comes about in the next month and using it as my anchor moving forward. As far as habits go, like I talked about, daily activations, 8K steps a day, building momentum in my mornings. This is something I've noticed is an opportunity for improvement for me, where I just have a hard time getting going in the morning. I've never been a morning person, but I know how important it is to, you know, start your day with positive habits, and you can just get a lot more done in the morning before the workday starts. My brain definitely gets tired as the day goes on. I do wake up early, I just don't really enjoy it. And right now I'm doing the artist way. I'm doing morning pages when I wake up, but I am doing them usually in bed or on the couch. And I think I need to move to my desk because it's just making me a little too cozy in the morning, and then I end up sitting with my dog longer than I need to. Sitting at my desk and maybe setting a timer to 30 minutes to get those pages done is just gonna help me to build a little bit of momentum and get moving in the morning, because yeah, I just feel like I've been dragging things out and then I'm rushing to get out the door or rushing to get started or just getting started late, honestly. I really want that to be something that I'm focused on this month, is my morning routine. Water pick, I had a dentist appointment and then had to get a cavity filled, so I'm really trying to prioritize oral health and working on my flossing again. And I do find that the water pick is more tolerable to me than flossing. And my dentist said something is better than nothing. So I'm just trying to do that every night. And then I had really low appetite this past month from being sick. And then I had a lot of situational anxiety about something, and I just wasn't eating enough food, period. So I'm going back to focusing on my protein. I know people are sick of talking about protein, but I notice a huge difference in my mood and the way that I feel in my body without any blood sugar crashes when I'm eating at least 100 grams of protein a day. Getting back into this. And then last thing for November, fun little bucket list for the month. Who else is excited for Wicked for Good? I cannot wait. I already have my tickets booked. I'm really excited for that. I really want to go for a hike, especially if I can catch before all the leaves fall and some really beautiful fall foliage. That would be nice. I haven't been on a hike in a while, and I do really love to hike. Getting caught up in my 5-year journal. Okay, guys, so this is a big one. So I don't think I've shown you guys my 5-year journal yet. This is also by Sterling Ink. If you can't tell, I love Sterling Ink products. And what I love about this one is that it's an undated 5-year planner. Let me try and find a blank page because this is personal. Okay, here we go. Apparently April 27th. I haven't done anything. It comes blank, but she gives you stamps so you can put the years in. And last year when I started this, I went ahead and did all of them for the next 5 years. But basically, yeah, you just have space each day to write something for whatever happened that day. And because it's undated, you can start this at any time. So I started this on my 30th birthday, which I love. And a lot of the other ones come predated, so you're kind of locked into those. So if you ever decide that you want to start one, you can just get these and started at any time. I've seen a lot of people who use this as like a baby book for their kids, which is so sweet. But yeah, I am pretty behind, and honestly, there's some days from 2024 that I still need to fill in too. I do have notes on my creative journal. I keep a list in my notes app. It's really just a matter of sitting down and doing it. I know I'm at least 2 months behind this year, so I've got quite a lot to catch up on, but I definitely want at the end of 2025 to be completely caught up. I'm making it a focus this month that I'm gonna work on it. Okay, the next one is make an elaborate dessert. This is definitely inspired by watching Great British Baking Show, but I love baking and I really enjoy doing like multi-step bakes, like something that's a little bit more intricate. So I'm not exactly sure what I want to do, maybe even something from the show, because I did see that they post the recipes on their website, but I could also make something for Thanksgiving that's a little bit more elaborate. I don't know, I just want to make something this month. And then decide and buy my 2026 planners. It's definitely going to be more than one. I do my creative journaling in a common planner by Sterling Ink, like I talked about. And I've heard you guys, I know I need to work on a video where I show you more of this. I just need to do some back journaling in this too. I need to buy the 2026 version of this, decide on what color I want, and then decide on my work planner. This is actually my work planner, but I just do not need this much space, and I actually think I want to go much, much smaller next year. This one has a page a day, and it's just too much space. There's like so many days that I don't end up using, so I don't think I need this size next year. And then obviously I'll also have the 5-year journal, but I'm good for a couple years on this one. It's really just the 2 planners. I will probably talk about that in next month's video, but I want to buy it now because I want to start setting them up in December. So I'm ready to go January 1st. So I need to get going on that one. And then lastly, I want to watch a fall movie. I kind of gave myself a list, so I can't be like, I don't know what to watch. These are just movies I've seen. Some of these I actually haven't seen. I've never seen You Got Mail, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, these are movies like football season, like they just make me think of autumn. So I gave myself a little list, and hopefully I can cross off a couple of these. So that is my full bucket list for November. I feel like it's really well-rounded. I'm excited about that. And I've got my focused habits that I'm gonna work on, my word of the month to keep me anchored, and then of course my November curriculum, which I feel like I've pared it down enough. I've been a little bit smarter about, one has videos, one's gonna be a bit more reading intensive. Let's not give ourselves 6 books to read and 30 videos to watch. I think this is going to be much more manageable. I'm really excited to see how Craft Roulette goes. Hopefully I can show you guys some of my creations next time. And yeah, we'll see how this goes. I'm really excited for November. I think I finally worked out how to make the personal curriculum work for me in what is actually doable. I hope. I still think I have too many classes. That's just who I am. And again, we can just move it to the next month if it doesn't get done this month. That's okay. This is for fun. If you want to hear how November went for me, that'll all be in my December reset. So make sure that you hit the subscribe button, the notification bell if you want to know when that comes out. I've got some really fun videos coming out this month. Next week, we'll have one on daylight savings time and how to kind of prevent those seasonal sads that come this time of year. I'll have more videos coming out on my journey with the Artist's Way. And at the end of the month, I'll be doing a video on how to take care of your mental health around the holidays. I know this can be a really difficult time of year for a lot of people, but there's a lot of things that we can do to show ourselves some extra self-care and to bring a little bit more ease into your holiday season. So look out for those. As always, if there's a topic that you want me to cover, please put it in the comments below. I try to respond to everybody. I hope you have a wonderful, cozy November. I'd love to hear what your focus is for the month, what intentions you have, what's on your bucket list, so let me know. And until next time, I'm rooting for you every step of the way.